together with family. You know, passing on that tradition, passing on those shared connections and memories, and reinforcing those, right? You give your hand up.
For 3 years straight, my parents refused to take down the Christmas tree. In June, that's when we took it down this year. 3 years we had it up.
6 months.
6 months.
Oh no, you had it up for 3 years and you just took it down in
straight.
June.
Yeah, just took it down in June and now it's back up.
Did you guys decorate it differently for every season?
No, we just
had a tree up.
We just kept it in our living room because we were too lazy to take it down, I guess.
You know, sometimes you gotta have a Christmas tree in your house all the time. Some Inuit revival, so some responses to opportunities. The Inuit, like many other indigenous groups, were marginalized. They were kind of held on the outskirts. Part of that is just due to where they live. The Nunavut region, the population is pretty low. I'm sure many people don't want to go up there. Prior to discovering, you know, some wealthy resources, or not wealthy resources, valuable resources, most people didn't really have an interest with this frigid Arctic area, right? I mean, unless you're interested in like surviving polar bears and eating seal, just living in the cold, you probably wouldn't want to go up there, right? But as soon as we started discovering that there was valuable resources, let's say like oil, gold, those are probably two of the main ones, other natural resources kind of in the ground, that's when Canada as a government started going out there. But anyways, in the early 1900s, missionaries set out to convert the Inuit people to Christianity. They banned traditional beliefs and practices in schools. In the 1950s, the Canadian government forced the nomadic Inuit people to live in permanent settlements. What does nomadic mean again?
Travel from one place to another.
Yeah, they're not settled in one spot, right? They travel around. In the 1960s, the Inuit settlements were moved in order to allow for mining and drilling. In the 1970s, the Inuit began working on legislation with the Canadian government to govern themselves because there was no treaties signed, no historic treaties signed in the Nunavut region, in the Inuit region. In 1999, the Canadian government created the Treaty of Nunavut for the Inuit to live in and govern themselves to a degree, right? Because we can't just give people full-on freedom. That would be absurd. Why would we do something so radical and so different? Can you see the board?
No.
Why can't you see the board?
No, I can't. He was staring at me very intently, and I thought he was looking behind me. Probably. Your eye followed.
You kids are funny, man. You kids really struggle with eye contact. And like whether or not someone's looking at you.
It's weird to be looking at Mr. Kawaja.
Why is it weird to look at me? I'm teaching.
Because you're talking to everybody, but you're looking at me.
Fair enough. It's still good to have a conversation with
Camera.
Why would I look at the camera?
You're talking to them too.
No, it's like a nature documentary. Don't look at the camera. Just like let it be there. Talking to them too. What? All 4 people who watched the video.
Yeah.
For all the people in the future who will watch. Okay.
Exactly.
What's going on here? What else do I want to say about this? Maybe it's on the next slide. No, it's not on the next slide. Okay, so we just quickly went over some cultural revitalization. We looked particularly at case study for Inuit. There's probably questions in your notes thing about that. Looking at affirming. What does it mean to affirm something? Say that again loudly.
Like make it official, make it so it can't be changed.
That could be a part of affirming, right? How do you affirm your identity as an individual? I am, right? You do the things that make you who you are, right? So like for some of you, ball is life, so you play basketball at lunch. Okay, some of you like taking selfies, so you take a selfie and you send it to people and you remind yourself that's what you look like, and you remind those people what you look like. Okay. Some of you wear your favorite clothes. You come here fashionably. Some of us take a nap. That could be part of our identity, perhaps. Okay. So to affirm essentially means just to, I guess, re-fortify what your identity is, right? To do the things that make you you, right? So some of you like art, you draw little things, and then some of you don't like the art, so you clean the art off the decks. Thank you very much, right? Anyways, the affirmation of identity for Francophones in Canada, the French have a variety of methods of affirming their identity, their language, their culture to whatever extent they have that, and their traditions, and they've done that through the government, through setting up laws. So initially it started with the British North America Act, that's what B&A stands for, in 1867, which makes English and French official languages in government federal courts. They have the Official Languages Act of 1969, which ensures that all citizens can receive French and English services from the government in both those languages. You also have Bill 101, which defines French as Quebec's only official language in 1977, which is basically like they really don't like English, and that's what they're saying with that. Like, to hell with you guys, we're Quebec, we're on our own. It was in my grade 9 class actually. Someone was asking me, why do we learn about Quebec when Quebec doesn't want to be a part of Canada? What I said to this person was, just because you have an unruly child that refuses to eat, it doesn't mean you let them starve. You're going, why?
They don't want to do that search.
But you just let the kids starve?
No.
Yes?
Just let them do what they want, and then they'll come back when they realize that was a shame.
But then we'll have moved on, we'll have found a different
Ouch.
person.
Don't.
I don't know what just happened there. What's up? We got some hands up.
Let those children starve, they'll come back begging for more.
No, we can't do that. What's up?
Like, they're not gonna let a 3-year-old not eat dinner because she didn't want the broccoli that she didn't put on her plate.
You know what you do? You melt some butter and put some salt on the broccoli, and then you give it to the kid, and they're like, wow, this is delicious. You don't just give them boiled broccoli. It's gotta be like he said, it's gotta be seasoned, it's gotta have there's levels, there's layers. Just boiled broccoli?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things.
That's probably a good thing. But I like melting unsalted butter on it. So good.
Another hour.
Do what? Salt.
Barely.
Okay, so let's say we're doing a little cartoon analysis. Take a look. What are some of the symbols you see?
The flag.
The flag. Which flag? Flag of
Italy.
We see an Italian flag, and we see a
Whatever flavor. Ontario,
Yeah,
right?
where's
It's Quebec.
the
Italy.
Quebec flag, but like Italian, italicized, Italianized.
And then the police are watching them. The police are
Frozen.
forcing
What's
them.
what do you think is the analogy? What do you think the author of this source is trying to say? Just French people.
I know police don't lie.
What's going on, actually? Better yet, let's take one step back. What is going on in this image? What's happening?
They've been changed.
They've been changed, and then what were the changes specifically? Anyone else? This back corner, you're always quiet. Come on, let's see some contributions. This front row's the only one doing you any good. Come on, come on. What's going on? What's one change that occurred?
Culture.
The culture has changed. Okay. Specific one change.
There's police officer.
There's a police officer. What do we? Okay, sure. What's one change right up here? Right there. What's one change from the left side? Sorry, to the left side to the right side.
They're wearing hockey team's hat that they're in the city.
Sure, he goes from a chef's hat to a what's that hockey team? Montreal Canadiens. Ooh, where's Montreal?
In Canada.
Yeah, back. Okay, you had your hand up. You were so excited to say something. Represent that front row. The way you just put.
On the right side, they're using like processed food, more processed food, and on the left side, it's more like natural and like
Fair enough, fair enough. Look at this strong response from the left side. We have several hands up. Let's start at the back corner.
Quebec is so sad it turned his mustache into a frown.
Oh yeah, his mustache changed. He's like, look at the face of depression.
Miserable.
Okay, what did you want to say? As she squids.
The traditional food is like, they took the traditional food away from like Italian.
So they took away traditional Italian food. Do you kids think food is a part of culture?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that they've negatively impacted Italian culture?
They
Yes.
took away like.
Let's hear strong right side response, front row. Let's go again.
The food on the, is that the right or the
Come on,
left?
bitch. You can do it.
It's processed food, like it's already in cans.
Oh,
like
you're
it's
just
like-
recycling. You're just recycling here. No way you told him to give you a good response, and then he says such a good response, and you recycle it.
Copyright.
Copyright. Okay. It's processed, but what specifically about the food? Like what's sure it's processed, but like what is the food on the right? On the left, we identified it's what type of food?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, which is very
It's rough.
Italian.
Italian. What's on the other side? Right there, the strong response.
Poutine.
Poutine, where that's
Canadian.
like a Canadian thing, right? And particularly maybe French. I don't know exactly where it's made. But you've been so desperately
Well,
wanting to answer that you've just been shouting answers.
I mean, I was gonna say it, like I'm saying how the.
We know you're gonna say it because you told us you were
The
gonna say it.
the food was different, is what I was gonna say. And they're using different.
No, now you're just recycling answers.
Yeah.
Come on, kids. Hey,
Yeah, I
up here.
It says
Let-
bio
Oh, he says
Same
bon. What does
bon.
bon mean? French speakers. Aren't you in French class?